Charles McCall, former Speaker of the House, now running for Oklahoma governor, joining us here on Oklahoma Chronicle. Thanks so much for being here.
Evan, great to be with you.
How has the campaign been going?
Oh, it's been great. We've been at it for about 15 months. I'm the candidate for running for governor that's been to all 77 counties in the state. I have. One thing I have learned, Oklahoma's a really big state.
It is. Especially, it's a crowded field. There's a lot of candidates out there.
Yeah, 2 more filed than were expected.
Right.
Yeah.
No, exactly. Trust me. I noticed it, And so when you're talking to voters and they're trying to, go through everybody and try to figure out, how do you differentiate yourself? What are you bringing to the table that maybe the other candidates don't?
Well, first of all, it's a good time campaigns are an opportunity to listen to people. That's what we did for those 15 months, ramping up to the filing period that just happened last week. But, you get out there and you listen, but having a presence means a lot to people, showing up, talking to them, listening to them. As you mentioned, it's a very big field. It's a very large state. It's difficult to connect with everybody during that period of time. But occasionally you'll get people are very vocal and in a good way about what's important to them. Right. So having that experience leading up to this filing, I really have a great idea what they at least want to get accomplished. Is there a
consistent thing that people continue to tell you?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because it is, like you said, big state, rural, urban, people have different priorities, or do they?
They do. There are things that you hear that are universal throughout the state of Oklahoma. Number one, overall, people just feel pressed. They feel stuck.
Economically, is that what you're talking
absolutely. About? And it's not surprising to me. I've been out of the legislature for 2 years. When I left, everything was, had the highest revenues in state history, the best performing economy. But over the last couple of years, people feel stuck again. It's the fact that we had this unprecedented amount of inflation for 4 years, and largely due to the time of Biden administration. Wages haven't caught up, but people's personal budgets are pressed. They need and want relief.
Well, let's talk about that sort of relief. You've talked about eliminating the state income tax. Whenever I talk about eliminating income tax, I also think about it from a balancing the needs of the state at the same time.
Sure.
So when you drop a state down to 0%, like you would like to do as governor, how do you make sure that Oklahoma is still able to pay for the things that people count on here?
And that's a great question, and I get that question around the state. Right. The answer is that taxation on productivity works completely different than our consumption-based taxes. When you lower the personal income tax, the money's still there. You just left it in somebody's pocket. They're going to spend it, and it comes back to the state really multiplied. Back on the consumption side, every time we cut the personal income tax in the past, we didn't have less money the next year, we had more money. So we can phase it out, we can eliminate it over time. That is a priority. I want to fully phase it out while I'm governor of the state of Oklahoma. But we're going to do it in a way, I'm going to do it in a way that we don't sacrifice those core services that are important to people, from education, roads and bridges, health care, mental health, law enforcement.
Those are big chunks of the budget
Absolutely.
there. Healthcare, education alone, those things are massive.
The big five, we would always have pre-session budget hearings on the 5 largest agencies that receive 80% of the money that comes from the legislature.
Right. So are you talking about, as we cut income tax, do we need to raise, you talked about consumption, like sales taxes, does that need to go up in order to make sure that we're balancing?
I think we can do it without adjusting the consumption taxes. The legislature will have to make that decision, but I believe they're fine. What we've done in the past, when I inherited the worst economy in state's history in 2017, my first year Speaker of the House, what we had to do is start setting the right tax environment. You start finding the waste, fraud, and abuse, but you also have to start growing the economy. The way we were able to cut taxes across the board, lower them on everybody, and have more state revenue, and I mean 3 times as much, is growing the economy. That'll be a key as governor of the state of Oklahoma. I've done it before, we'll do it again.
Governor Stitt's difficult relationship with the tribes, that's been well documented. It's been rocky, I guess you could say.
I was there for 6 years of it. Yes.
I know. Do you think he made mistakes there? And as governor, what would your relationship with the tribes be like?
I think they're missed opportunities. I understand, and most Oklahomans, I want everybody to know that state leaders, tribal leaders, both have constituencies. Sometimes the constituencies won't let you do certain things, but there are things we can do together. I am of the position, and I've been very consistent, even my advice to Governor Stitt on this matter. We need to work with the Native American tribes in Oklahoma. That's what makes Oklahoma, Oklahoma.
Sure.
It's a unique opportunity. They have their own funding sources for education, healthcare, roads and bridges. When we're working together to maximize their money with ours throughout the state of Oklahoma, we can do more for the people of the state.
I wanted to talk about the campaign. You launched your first campaign ads. They raised eyebrows. I know they got a lot of support from many of the people who are looking forward to voting for you. Also got some criticism. I'm talking about, of course, the chopped banana. You kind of took on transgender activism. I know you also had an ad kind of after that talking about Sharia law in Oklahoma. The people who did not like it, they would say, is this really the priority that we need to be focusing on? Aren't there bigger things facing Oklahomans? Why did you lead with those ads?
Well, I'm in a Republican primary. Those are important to Republican primary voters. It's not the only thing. And as you see the rest of the campaign unfold the next 3 months, right now, it's a burger ad talking about affordability.
I see that. Got a little something there. You had to get. Oh yeah.
Hey, thank you for saying that, Evan, because that ultimately is what's important about campaign ads, being memorable. You just mentioned the part of the burger still left on my face, but you remembered it.
Right.
And
the banana ad was certainly memorable.
So the creative team, you take real issues that Oklahomans care about, and you put them out in a way that you want to connect with people, but you want them to be memorable. Listen, at the end of the day, I think it bothers me that we have children in this state that don't feel comfortable in their own skin. But I don't think the right answer is a parent taking their child into a clinic to try to change their gender. We banned that while I was in the legislature, but that's one of those issues that talks about values and it talks about protecting children. Not condemning. I'm a Christian. I have great compassion for people. I do think you always need to speak the truth. But we'll hit a lot of issues along this campaign. But to your point, those were the first two that we referenced, and because they were relevant at the time.
I want to give every candidate that I sit down here with about a minute at the end of the interview, which is about the time that we have, just kind of lay out, kind of sum up why they're running, why you think you're going to be a good governor. So, I mean, if you're making that minute-long pitch to somebody, what are you leading with?
I'm leading with experience. I truly got to see the worst of times in Oklahoma and got to exit 2 years ago during the very best. And to a certain extent, our economy's flattened back out. People feel stuck. I'm the proven leader that can come in and get this state moving forward. Our economy is growing again, doing it in a conservative way and leading to the state. I believe our best days are still ahead, but we need to have proven leadership at the helm to make it happen.
Charles McCall is the former Speaker of the House here in Oklahoma, and he's running for governor. Nice having you on the program.
Hey, Evan,
I wish you the best of luck.
Appreciate you.
All right.